Welcome to This Week in Jackson County Schools. I'm Pamela Stone, and if you're just now joining us, we are here this week with Section, do you call it school?
Section High School.
See, Jackson County gets me confused because some of you call it high school, some of you call it no school, and there are all kinds of grade levels in it. So, Section High School, but they are a pre-K through 12th grade, so they go all the way down to little pre-Kers. And they have about 560 kids. That's a lot of kids.
It is. It really is.
It is. So next to me I'm talking to is the principal of Section High School, and his name is Mr. Gene Roberts, and he is a principal. Welcome, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Okay, so you guys got a lot going on. We have several guests out there, some teachers who are going to talk to and stuff. But let's talk about one of your biggest things this year. You were talking about before the show is that you guys have gone from a block schedule to a, I guess we'd call a regular schedule or just a non-block schedule. So explain to those parents who may not know what that is, like, you know, who are coming in and...
We through the summer had talked about going from a block schedule to a period this time. And Alabama gave out grades and everything in the past years and everything. And some of our schools had C's and B's and you know, we, you know, tried to come up with ways to improve that score and everything. And we'd been on the block schedule for about as long as I can remember. I remember when I was in school, was on a period, but shortly thereafter, it went to a block. And for the past several years, that's what we've been on.
Was it a true block schedule, or was it literally like an A day and a B day, and then an A day and a B day?
Ours was a straight block. It was like a 5-block period or a 5-block day, and those blocks lasted about 90-something minutes per block. Which was a long time to be in a classroom.
Right.
And different people got together, Mr. Duke, superintendent, and Mr. Buckner and all, and they had went and visited these different places that were on the period schedule. And going from a long a block period to a shorter period, 47, 48 minutes, they thought that, you know, this could increase our grade and all. So over the going to different places that were on the period and everything, they decided and came up with it. You know, that's what we was going to try and everything to try to get our grades better.
Yeah, I know, especially at the high school. Do you do this with middle school too, or just high school?
We do it with our middle school also.
Middle school and high school. So I know, you know, a lot of schools, and I've worked at high school and middle school, and I've worked on block schedule and non-block. But, I mean, there's a lot of controversy, I guess, if you want to call it, between which one, you know, can kids really pay attention 90 minutes, or is it better if they just have 45? Will they remember, like, the every other day, or will they forget it in between, you know? So what do you think? Is it working so far? How do the kids like it?
Well, so far, it's doing pretty good. You know, anytime you have change, you know, a lot of people are not up about change and everything.
Right.
But once we... You know, before we started, it was like, oh, I can't believe we're doing a change. You know, we're going to 7, 8 periods. Is what it is. Compared to the block, you know, it's not going to be good. But once everybody got into the change and everything, it's actually going pretty good. You're in there 47, 48 minutes per day, which means the teacher can slow down her teaching or his teaching. You've got the same kids all year long, which, you know, in turn, they're in there all year, and you've got the whole year to, you know, complete what you're supposed to be teaching.
Yeah, that makes it probably a little bit easier for the kids, too.
And it does. They're not having to take in as much in one day as it was on the...
So before that, they would do the same class, but they would do it double, and it would end the semester.
Exactly.
And then they had another set of classes that were due. So more like college level.
It is. It's a lot like college.
Right.
And some of them would say, you know, when we'd see some of the kids that are at Northeast now, we'd talk about the schedule change. That's like we're on now, you know, at Northeast now. Then it kind of gets them ready for it.
Yeah. Well, good. Right. And I know that... I mean, kids will do whatever we put them out there to do, but I think having that memory, you know, I knew that, you know, when I was doing block schedule, that opposite day that the kids didn't go, quite often they they forgot stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
they just did. I mean, not that they purposely did, but some of them, if they didn't go home that night and do reading, writing, practice, whatever it was, what the course was talking about. I mean, you do. At that age, you tend to forget about it.
That's true. And I'm gonna throw a plug out there for my staff and my students and all. We have a really good staff at Section High School, and anytime there's a change, they'll all be like, oh, there's no way we can do this, and it can't get this done, and it always happens to where they get done what they're supposed to do. The students jump in there and they participate and do what they're supposed to do also. I've got a good bunch of folks at Section High School.
So how did the parents, were they open to it?
They were, and they're still apprehensive about it also, about
Right.
the change and all.
Change is hard.
And it change is hard. It really is,
Yeah.
especially when you're used to doing something for so many years.
Right. Well, good. Well, I'm glad it's working okay, and I'm sure in the end you'll, probably see a better result.
I think we're going to see a better results. I really do.
Are there any other schools that are still on block schedule? And
All Jackson County went to.
so they all went to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Well, at least y'all did it consistently, so nobody can come back and say, "Well, this is
That's
this
true.
way."
Right.
When that makes it a little
Everybody
easier.
knew up front that's what we was going to, and
Right.
I guess it was up to us to make it happen.
Right. Well, that's good. All right, there you go. All right. So you also have some sports.
We do.
You got quite a bit of sports. Of course, you're a large school at 560, so that's a good size, especially for Jackson County, because you
We're a
guys are
2A
so
classification.
yeah, you guys are so spread out. So some of them are small because of just the location
Yes, ma'am.
of some of your schools, but you're pretty big.
Yeah, we have two feeder schools to us, Macedonia.
Yeah, I interviewed them last week.
Right, Macedonia and Dutton, they're both feeders to us. And when their students get through with 8th grade, they'll come to us, and then we'll have them for the rest of their time.
What portion of that or number is high school? Middle school? Well, do you know the breakdown?
I apologize. I'm not.
No, that's
100%
okay.
On that, of what the breakdown is on that right now.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay, so you've got football and track and baseball and softball and basketball and golf and cheer. And then you told me you have an indoor track?
We do indoor track. We don't have an indoor track,
Oh, okay.
but we do the indoor track as far as participation.
Where do you practice?
We practice outside,
Okay.
but the meets and all are on the indoor track. Most of them are in Birmingham, though.
I was just thinking that's pretty cool. An indoor track, I could use one of those.
That'd be sweet.
That would be.
I wish we did have one.
I might actually go exercise, right?
I'm with you on that.
All right, so football's over. How'd you guys fare?
We ended 4-6.
Okay. Well,
We had a couple of more games that that had an opportunity to win, just didn't work out in our favor. But we had a positive year this time.
well, here's what I do know, and I'm sure you'll agree. Every loss changes us to make us think about what we could do better next time.
You're exactly right.
So it really does increase.
It does.
How can I fix that next time? And if we don't have those losses, then we sometimes can get our heads a little too big and think, well, we're fine. We don't need to make any change. And change is good.
It is.
It's
It is.
not
You're
always
exactly
bad.
right.
It's
That's
good.
true.
So I'm sure they'll find that. Okay, and then track, and you also do indoor and outdoor. What do they do on the indoor track? I mean, what are the...
It's basically the same as the regular outdoor track, except for it's inside.
Okay.
Still do the running, the different.
Do you do high hurdles on the inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And then the outdoor does the same thing, high hurdles?
Basically, yes.
Okay, just versus whether you want to be outside or inside?
Right.
Cool. All right, cross country.
Cross country, it's outside.
I assume that's outside. You got to run
yeah.
long ways. How many kids do you have on
Cross country, I think we have about 14, 15 kids this time. Last year we had more, but for some reason they didn't want to participate this time.
Well, it's good for them, but
Oh, it is. It is.
that's a long ways to run. I was in
It-
track in high school, and I did like high, because I was so tall. I
Right.
did high hurdles and I did sprints, but I tried that cross country once, and I mean I was in good physical condition then.
Right.
And I thought I was going to die.
Cross country is for those folks that really, really like
to run, and that was not. I mean, I like to run short,
Yeah,
and I like to win.
right.
but I wanted it quick.
I understand.
All right, and then basketball, you have, I'm guessing track, and most of all these other ones, you have male and female, girls and
Yes.
boys,
Yes.
both? Okay, and basketball?
Well, yes, we have
Okay,
boys and girls.
now, do the middle schoolers have separate
We have a junior high program
as well?
Junior high boys and girls.
And
yes.
track too, do you do all
No,
of these?
If they're running track, everybody's together on track. Basketball, we have a
Separate?
junior high. Yes.
Okay.
Football, same way.
What about golf?
Golf is 7 through 12. If anybody wants to participate,
How many you got in golf?
we might have 4 or 5.
Do you guys have a golf course?
No, we use Goose Pond.
Okay.
They allow us to use theirs over there.
Okay, well that's nice. All right, and then you got baseball and softball.
We do.
Okay, and is that middle school and high school?
It is. It is. Two
Okay.
different teams.
That's good. And basketball's going on right now.
Basketball's going on now. Junior high. Matter of fact, they have a game tonight. Our varsity started this past weekend in a tournament. First home game was last night.
How'd they do?
Varsity boys won. Varsity girls won. JV boys won. JV girls, they lost, I think, and our 9th grade boys won.
Very good. That was a
Yeah,
good
we
start.
had 5 games. It really was.
That was good. Was it at home?
It was at home. Had a really big crowd last
I
night.
was say that's got to be a long night.
It was a long night.
Yeah, it would have been. All right, and then baseball and softball, and that's coming up, I would guess, February?
It'll be in the spring, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, somewhere in February. And you have the boys and girls on that one too. And then
Yes.
cheer. And is that middle school and high school as well?
It is, yes,
And
ma'am.
is baseball too and softball?
It
Middle
is.
school and high school? Well, you got a lot. I mean, that's got to keep you pretty busy. Especially as an
something going
administrator,
on
you
all
got to
the
go to
time.
all of these.
It's something going on every day, just about.
You know, I never thought about that till right now, but that's got to make it, I don't want to say worse, but definitely more challenging to be an administrator, because not only are you just going to one step, but you're going to, middle school, high school, varsity, JV on each level. That's got to be a lot.
Yeah, it's
Share the love on going to the games,
exactly.
right?
It's very time consuming.
Yeah, I would assume so. All right, and so something else we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about you. We'll talk about that real quick, and then we're going to talk about parental involvement. So tell me about you.
My name's Gene Roberts. This is my 28th year in education. I started at North Sun Mountain High School as a driver's ed teacher, science teacher.
Which we don't even have driver's ed anymore. So do you guys?
We don't, not this year. We have had it in the past.
Have you?
I think for the last 3 years we have not offered it.
I think that's almost going away.
Several of the schools in Jackson County still offer it.
Really?
But, it's still a good thing.
Oh yeah.
But anyhow, I did that for 9 years at North Sun Mountain, and I went from there to Hollywood Elementary School. I taught PE and math there, coached basketball. From there, I moved to Woodville High School, where I was assistant principal. I stayed there 4 years, I believe. We lost a few kids, which didn't have enough kids to have a assistant principal there. And then when that was not offered again, I transferred back to Rosalie. And I was at Rosalie for 8 years as a PE teacher. And I went from there after 8 years to Pisgah High School for about a half a year. And then I've been at Section High School ever since then for about 9 years.
As a principal
there. Yes, ma'am.
So 9 years as principal there.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, good. So you should have everything just set perfect, right?
I wouldn't go that far. We try, though. We work on it every day.
But education changes so fast.
It's amazing how much education has changed in the past 28 years.
Yeah, I mean, and the kids change and how we deal with stuff, and so that there's no way you could really, I was just joking, but there's no way you could really have it all figured
No, you're
out.
right. Teachers change, kids change, parents change, everybody.
Oh yeah,
changes.
and then we're talking about people themselves, and you never know.
Exactly.
That's an
That's
unknown,
true.
always an
You're
unknown.
exactly right.
So, all right, well, thanks for coming on. Oh, we were going to talk about parental involvement. So tell me about, so you're trying to get parents more involved
Yes, ma'am.
in your school and coming and doing things?
We always have have at the first of the year open house day where we get parents to come and
Right.
everything,
Most
and
schools
get them ready for the new year. And you know, our people, they didn't come out, and we're trying to come up with ways to where, you know, we get more people involved, get them to come out to our school and everything. And I told some of them, I said, well, people like to eat, so if we'll feed them, they'll come, you know. So me and the assistant principals decided we'd cook hamburgers and hot dogs to feed the folks on the open house night. And it's amazing at the people that showed up.
Really?
Unreal. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and part of it too is that open house. Most schools have open house, but it's always right close to dinner time.
It is. You're right.
And like for me, I used to always just take my kids and grab fast food, but some people can't afford doing that, and then that will definitely change their ability. Okay, well, I can't afford fast food, so they have to choose food, feed the family, or go to an open house.
Exactly. And you know, by us doing that, you know, they was getting supper, and two, they was getting to come to hear what we was telling them for the new year and everything. And we do that occasionally where we'll have meetings scheduled and everything. We'll cook for them, and you know, it's amazing that, you know, people come out just because.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's good. I was going to ask you, does the middle school have separate principal and assistant principals, or they just have assistant principal? Or do you guys do both?
We have a principal and assistant principal at our pre-K through 12. So there's just one principal and one assistant principal.
So you really take care of 560 kids along with your assistant principal?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot.
It is, but it's, you know, we have our days.
Yeah.
We have good days and we have bad days.
Oh, yeah.
And we have mediocre days.
That's a lot, though. So, well, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Slade Bellamy, and he's the art teacher. We'll be right back.
At First Southern State Bank, putting you first is our priority. First with convenience, with branches in 6 great communities: Fort Payne, Rainsville, Scottsboro, Higdon, and our Stevenson office, now recently enlarged and remodeled. First with our friendly, experienced staff, always helpful and ready to serve. And first with our mobile on-the-go banking. Our mobile app is fantastic, user-friendly, secure, and free. So whether it's online or in person, you're our first priority at First Southern State Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come enjoy pizza for lunch or dinner in a family-friendly atmosphere at Stevie B's Pizza in Fort Payne. Enjoy the buffet and salad bar anytime, or have a specialty pizza made to order. At Stevie B's, take advantage of Two-Stamp Tuesday for adult and senior buffets, and Thirsty Thursdays when drinks are free after 4 p.m. Take out any medium pizza weekdays between 2 and 5 for just $4.49. And on the weekends, take out any 2 large pizzas, just $14.99. Book your parties now by calling Stevie B's at 256-979-1234. Stevie B's Pizza, 2200 Galt Avenue North, Fort Payne. Can you gig it? Oh, yes, you can. We know you've been waiting for a long time, and now Tennessee Valley Net is bringing it to you. Gigabit internet service now available in certain areas of Dade County. Not just fast, super fast internet service now available from Tennessee Valley Net. People are talking, I mean really smiling about gig speed internet available in limited areas from Tennessee Valley Net. Call today at 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net and see if gig speed is available where you are. We know you'll gig it from Tennessee Valley Net. Brown's Tire Pros knows that when you need tires for automotive service, you don't need a hassle. Brown's Tire Pros has been family owned and operated since 1994, and you'll always get friendly customer service and never be sold anything you don't need. We sell major brands of tires like Michelin and BF Goodrich. In fact, Michelin offers safe, fuel-efficient, long-lasting tires that'll keep you going for miles to come. Visit us at Brown's Tire Pros in Trenton today or online at brownstirepros.com. Delivering top-quality primary health care locally. We are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain and Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program, and ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. Dental referrals for our patients with tooth removal and fillings for only $15. Putting your health concerns first, we're Northeast Alabama Health Services. Cervical cancer screenings now available at Northeast Alabama Health Services.
All right, welcome to This Week in Jackson County Schools. If you're just now joining us, we are here with It is Section High School. They call it a high school, although it is pre-K through 12th. And they have about 560 students or so. And we just got done talking to the principal, Mr. Gene Roberts, and we enjoyed talking to him, and we learned about a lot of stuff going on there. Next to me, I have Mr. Slade Bellamy, and he is the ACT teacher. Welcome, Mr. Bellamy.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're glad you're here. So, Slade, that's a cool name.
It's different.
It's cool, but Slade Bellamy. Okay, so you do 7th through 12th for your ag program.
Yes, ma'am.
And for those who don't know, just explain to everybody what an ag program is.
The agriculture program we run basically touches all things from mechanical, electrical, carpentry, outdoor farming, things of that nature, just to bridge the gap between kids that's not been exposed to that, as
Right.
of that age.
So really, you just focus on the business of being a farm.
Pretty much, and because the farmer, he's jack of all trades. He has to fix stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got to fix the equipment.
Things breaks. They got to watch the weather. They got to watch, the soil conditions and things of that nature.
And they have to do all the business aspects. So I know when you guys go to competition, you have one of your competitions is all the business paperwork and all like how to sell the product and
Yeah,
all
so
the marketing stuff
a lot
of
of
that.
economics and marketing that go along with it. Yes, ma'am.
So I mean that's pretty amazing. I think it's pretty good.
It teaches kids a lot. It's more than just putting your hands in the dirt and getting dirty. And
Well, a lot
farming.
of kids, well, not just kids, I think a lot of people in general think, when they think of agriculture, they just think, well, growing the crops. But it's way more than that.
Oh, yeah. So you ask kids nowadays, where'd your food come from? Most of them says Walmart.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that, basically everything they touch, wear, eat, anything, touches farming.
Right.
You can hardly find anything that doesn't go back to a farmer.
Well, you're right. I mean, that's true, especially if you combine some of your ingredients. So you do a club called FFA, Future Farmers of America. And how many kids you got in that?
Right now, we're up close to 100 members.
Whew, that's
we've-
a lot.
We'd like to have more. We've struggled in the past with around 60 or 70. Well, now we're pushing between 90 and 100. Getting those kids exposed to different competitions, CDEs, career development, SAEs, supervised agriculture experiences, things that they can do on their own, and get recognized for it.
How do you get them to get all the information they need, like for competitions, to practice? I mean, do you guys have study time outside of the regular school day?
Yes, ma'am. We usually try to take some time and get the kids the paperwork, all the rules, contest rules, things of that nature, and then we set aside some time during the day, a regular class period, or after school for the land judging, cattle, forestry, tractor driving. We do some of the tractor driving exercises there at school. We have a little tractor. We try to run a little mini farm, and that helps them out also.
That's good. And you were telling me that one of the cool things that you're doing with FFA is you guys have a community garden this year. Well, actually you've had it for, 6 years?
It's 6 or 7 years. It's grown a lot in the last 2 to 3. Really wasn't recognized a lot in the beginning. We were doing traditional gardening with kids didn't really go for that because they was out in the garden a lot, weeding it, keeping things maintained. And then we wrote a couple of grants through RC&D and bought some plastic mulch laying machine and a planter.
Plastic mulch laying machine?
Very thin, like 3 to 4 mil thin plastic. We till it up real good. We drag this piece of equipment through the garden, and it rose up and lays a mound of plastic. It just looks like a long black piece of plastic laying in the garden, and it's got a irrigation hose underneath it. Therefore, you don't waste a lot of water. It goes directly to the root system, and you put your fertilizer in your water. There's no runoff. That's helped out tremendously because there's very little labor.
How do the plants grow through that then?
We have a water wheel planter, and kids sit on the back of this water wheel planter like an old tobacco or tree planter, and it waters as it goes down the row. It pokes a hole, it waters the hole, and the kids put the plant or the seed in the hole, and then you run a row, and then the heat from the sun helps that plastic warm up and the soil underneath, which speeds up germination, You can usually have plants up anywhere from 4 to 8 days, opposed to 7 to 10 or 12, depending on the weather. With that,
Wow.
there's very little weeding that has to be done because the weeds have nowhere to grow except for the main rows, and you can usually keep them either weed-eated or tilled down with a regular normal tiller.
I might actually be able to grow a garden if I tried that.
We've got a lot of comments on it, and a lot of people want us to come and lay the plastic in their garden.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But it's really grown. We're close to an acre, maybe not quite an acre, but with the plastic, they say you can grow 2 to 3 times the amount on one row of plastic as you could a normal row in a garden, which you have less, like I said, less maintenance. But people have really started using the garden now over the last 2 or 3 years. More people's coming out. It's right there on the corner of Highway 35 and 71 there at the school.
So it's visible.
It's very visible, and when it's all coming in, it looks like a massive garden. And people come and pick okra every day, squash every day. We do corn. We do several types of beans.
Do you still have some late winter ones coming up?
We have some
or late summer or whatever this is?
Well, we have collards and some turnip greens planted right now. We really haven't done that a lot. We tried it on plastic. Probably wasn't doing something right. I have to research that a little more. But we do have quite a big patch of turnip greens coming up right now.
Pumpkins? Do you do pumpkins and watermelons?
We did watermelons. We didn't do pumpkins. We couldn't get those in time. We would like to try it next year for the younger kids, like the after-school program that we have.
Right.
They come out and work in the garden some and pick some things, and they carry it home. But to do the pumpkins, we'd like to be able to do that where they could have their own little pumpkin patch come around.
And then they could decorate their pumpkin.
Right around Halloween, instead of the school having to go buy them. Getting fundraisers and have them to purchase it and whatnot.
That would be cool. That would be pretty cool. And so, in doing so, then you, I'm guessing that helps the competitors in FFA learn some of the skills, or at least kind of know what are because it's real life, at least the plant side of farming.
Yeah, and it's sort of like instant gratification. The kids, it's not instant. I mean, you've got a.
But it's shorter.
Yes, and the kids can see. If you have certain kids that planted this row, they'll go home and tell their parents or grandparents, "Hey, go by and pick some okra. I planted that."
Right.
And they can see it, and it helps them out also seeing, the progress of farming, opposed to what their grandparents probably done, and what their grandparents probably raising at home. Of course, they've got more time to mess with it than probably what we do because we're only there a certain amount of time.
Right.
Whereas their grandparents are right there at their garden all day long, probably keeping it meticulous.
True.
So.
That's true. So, and you guys have a fundraiser going on till the November 30th?
Yes, we do our annual meat and fruit and fundraiser.
What's a meat and fruit front? I mean, I know what meat is and fruit is, but...
Well, we run them together.
Okay.
We sell our turkeys and hams and bacons and cookie dough and shrimp stuffed chicken, things like that. That sale, we've already ended it. That stuff will be coming in on Wednesday night.
Okay.
And we'll start handing it out for people that's bought that. Our fruit sale runs till November 30th. We sell anything and everything from navel oranges all the way down to juice oranges, grapefruits.
Okay.
And that fundraiser that's where we get most of our money to do our FFA activities or anything we have to do that the kids shouldn't have to pay for. And it usually does all right. We've had some really good fruit the last 3 or 4 years. Sometimes you get fruit that's not great, and then people complain, and they should. But we try to check every box before it goes out and make sure
it looks okay.
The customer's not getting any bad fruit. And I think over the last couple of years, we've probably not had but 3 or 4 total pieces of boxes of rotten fruit. And that's pretty good when you're selling 400 or 500 cases. So
that's a lot.
It's quite a bit. We'd like to have 1,000, but
how much do the kids make? What percentage?
Usually it runs anywhere between $3 and $4 a box.
Okay.
Profit for us. Some's less, some's a little more, but on average it's probably $2 to $3. And we usually try to have the kids sell at least 10 items of fruit and 5 on the meat.
Okay.
And that usually covers some of their fees, instead of them having to pay for it. Plus, that sort of gives us a let's say a stockpile of cash, but a little bit of reserve for state convention, national convention, or judging competitions, things of that nature.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. Now, you guys have competition coming up for FFA. Or have you already gone? I can't remember.
We just finished up our district land
Okay.
competition.
What does that do?
That gives kids opportunity to participate in the land judging. If they win district, they get to go to state.
Okay.
We didn't come in.
Any place?
We didn't place high enough to go to state, but going to district, that's something to attend, for them to attend and get a little bit better at for the
Right.
next year.
Well, and so now do you have anyone going to state? Or, I mean, can some of your competitions go to state
Yes,
even though?
we have a lot of competitions that can go to state, a lot of our CDEs and things like that. Our local contest, we do a county land, livestock judging, tractor driving, and forestry. There's some things you can go straight to district in. You don't have to compete at the county level. Because normally on the others you have to compete at county level
Right.
to win to go to district, and so on down the road. But some you can go straight to district. Some of your poultry things, meat judging, things of that nature, you can go straight to district and compete and have a chance to go to state and then on to nationals.
So how do you get the kids to join? Are they kids from your class or are there kids outside of your class? Is it both?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I've got kids from outside of my class that's been FFA members for the past 2 or 3 years, but this time I didn't have them in class. But
So they're still members?
They're still members. They'll come and get a meat and fruit farm, and they'll sell. And that money that they make off their fruit goes towards their fees, and they ain't got to worry about their FFA fee.
So how do you teach them this stuff? Because I'll be honest, I'm from the city originally, like a big city, and I wouldn't know. I mean, I might know how to plant some garden, but I wouldn't know anything about poultry judging, and nor do I even know anything about livestock or...
Well, they give us a lot of information through the state FFA website and through the nationals.
I mean, were you a farmer when you were, or you have family that was a farmer, which helped, I would assume?
Yes, I grew up to about 9 or 10. We raised potatoes, and then we row cropped, and we had a few pigs and a little bit of cattle, but not a lot. Most kids nowadays don't have hardly anything unless their grandparents have something.
Right.
And having them to be able to see the other side of it and see where they've come from to where we are now. Like I said, the generation gap is kind of big right now as far as getting kids back into the farm. I think the average farmer now is like 55 or 58. And it's like any other trade. As those people start retiring, there's nobody to fill those spots.
I know.
And you think about there's probably less than 2% of the country that's farmers feeding, the United States. So
It's crazy. I mean, there's not very many farmers compared to the amount of people that are left in this world.
now the farms are getting bigger, but the farmers are getting less.
The number of them. Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's certain places, but of course the weather's changing that too, which is
Yes.
making it harder for.
Yes.
I have farmers in my family, and they're in Kansas, but that's pretty harsh weather out there in Kansas because you could have, as the weather changes, it's more and more dry, more and more heat, and it affects how much you have to use for water. So I'm guessing you guys definitely have some of that too.
Yes, and that's why we like the plastic mulch. We got a water tank. We try to collect some water, but most of the water we use, it goes directly to the plant. Like I said, there's no runoff. Even on a hot day, you can go and cut that plastic, and it's still wet underneath the plastic, even though we ain't watered it maybe 2 or 3 days.
So not so wet that it's mold or
No.
that it rots the
No.
roots. Because I've tried to water some plants in my lifetime, and I put so much water on them that I thought, hey, it must be dying because it needs more water, and I put more water, and they just died because I put too much water. I think.
And a lot of kids don't understand that. Some plants like a lot of water and some don't. And there's that fine line of that that chemistry there as far as what plants need and what they
So
don't.
did you learn all of this going to school? I mean, is there like I went to school, and obviously I was a business major, but I mean, is there a farmer school where you learn how to be a farmer?
You can go to Auburn. They have an ag ed program. Alabama A&M had one. I think they've done away with theirs. They're trying to get it back. But for for the most part, most everybody goes in Alabama, per se, goes to Auburn to get an ag degree. I was a little different. I was going to Athens and wanted to go into teaching, but at the time they wasn't hiring many ag teachers. So I got my degree in career tech education,
Okay.
and took the practice in ag science, got highly qualified to teach ag, and
Just from previous knowledge.
yeah, my uncle was he's a retired ag teacher. He taught at Skyline, Pete
Okay.
Wallingford, and growing up farming around him, that helped me. But plus my wife's a teacher. She's a librarian at Skyline, and when I decided to go back to school after getting out of the service, I said, well, I don't want to be stuck outside,
Right.
indoors all the time.
Right.
So that's why I decided to try to go into the teaching.
Well, there you go. How long you been teaching?
I had 3 years at Three Springs, so I've got a total of almost 14.
14.
Mm.
And what, did you always be an ag teacher, or did you start at something else?
Well, I spent, after I graduated, I guess for lack of a better term, goofed off for a while. And then I joined the Army and spent 5 years active duty. And then I got out and worked in lawn care and landscaping for about 6 years while I was going to school. And since then, I've been teaching. So.
That's pretty good. So, I mean, you're close to retirement.
Well, yeah, but I got 3 little girls, so
Oh.
I'm probably gonna
You need money still? Is that-
be teaching for a while.
yeah, with girls you need money.
Yes.
They require a lot of money. Well, thanks for coming on the show today.
Well, I sure do appreciate you
I
having me.
really appreciate it. So, all right, when we come back, we got another special guest. We'll be right back.
When I first came down to Remax Property Center, the thing that stuck out to me was the fact that it's like a family atmosphere here. Everybody enjoys working with each other, and all of our clients that come through the door, we treat them like family. We've got agents that's been in the business since the 80s, so that's one thing that sets us apart is the fact that the experience that we have within our company. We have so much to offer. So we invite you to call, text, or send a carrier pigeon if you have to have our team work for you.
Team Remax, we're on your side.
At Citizens Tri-County Bank of Whitwell, we supply every financial need from small loans to your dream home. 24-hour banking is available through Citizens Tri-County Bank of Whitwell. Come into our location at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Experience fast, friendly, and courteous service every time you walk through the door. Open 8 to 4 Monday through Thursday, until 5 on Friday, and open 8 to noon on Saturday. 658-5880 for Citizens Tri-County Bank of Whitwell, the only community bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
All right, welcome back to This Week in Jackson County Schools. I'm Pamela Stone, and if you're just now joining us, we've been talking to Section High School, which is pre-K through 12th grade. So it's high school, middle school, and elementary school. But they call it high school, and they have about 560 students. That's quite a bit. So next to me, I have Mr. Robbie Saint. Welcome, Mr. Saint.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came on the show. And you are the robotics teacher.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
And is it also a club? I mean, do you do like a club with it too?
We're trying to start a club now.
Okay.
I'm one of the science teachers, and so this robotics is just going to be like I said, it's just something new. We're going to try to get started with a club, and so
When do you guys currently meet? I mean, do you just meet, like, is it a class too?
Right now, it's a class.
Class, okay.
We've got one period at the end of the day,
Okay.
and our this first year, we've been focused on a competition. It's called the Best Competition.
Okay.
And it was a challenge. It was pretty tough, but I'm hoping over the next few years
You'll learn how to run the challenge better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. How many kids you got in the class?
Right now we've got 15.
Okay, that's a
And,
nice number.
Yeah, not too many.
I mean, too many more than that, it's going to be hard to keep them all working on projects
Yes,
when
ma'am.
when it's a project based.
Yes, ma'am. Our competition this year was called Current Events, and so there were about 10 schools from our area, like Fort Payne, Pisgah, North Sand Mountain, and what it is we get 40 days to build a robot. We get a box of motors, and then we get a box of just basically junk. And so they give us a challenge, and this year's challenge was called Current Events, and it was based on the gyres in the ocean, the pollution. So we were to build a robot that would simulate cleaning up pollution in the ocean, and
Wow.
we basically had a 2x4 track. It's just two 2x4s laid on top of each other, and then about 3 feet away we would have bottles, and you were to build a robot that could go up and down the track and collect the bottles and then bring them back to what we called our field scientist. And then we also had there was a simulated turtle. You had to save the turtle.
How'd you get a simulated turtle?
It's just a little toy.
Did it run, or was it just like rubber?
No, yes, it's just rubber. They're just sitting
Okay.
there, basically.
I'm thinking like it runs. It's a robot turtle. It's going.
No, but so we had 40 days to build a robot that would do this, and then the competition, the actual robotics competition, the robot part is it's a very small percentage of the overall competition. Well, the students have to do a robotics notebook. We had to do an exhibit also. Just make T-shirts. Had to show sportsmanship, and they get graded on all this stuff. So it was a learning experience, to say the least. But
So what made you want to get into robots? Have you always built robots, or was this something new you just decided?
I've been interested in that kind of thing. I like building things, tinkering with things, and so I was hoping that I would have some students who also had the interest. It gives them, sports is big at our school, and I see that I'm hoping that the robotics can bring out some, maybe from our non-athletes, give them something to tap into.
Right. Right. Well, and that's true. I mean, because there's some kids who would rather do that than go out and do sports or
Yes,
even
ma'am.
the farming thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I bet it's nice it's the last period of the day.
Yes, ma'am.
But-
It's hard for me. It was hard to get the students to stay after school. A lot of them go to work after.
Right.
So we had to try to get in as much as I could at that last period. We didn't do as well as we had hoped this year. Our biggest challenge is this year, and you don't really think about it till you have
do it.
a box of junk. When I say junk, I mean there's just like a PVC pipe and junk. But we had to make the robot go down the track, just forward and back, and then it has to balance. And then we had to build an arm to get the bottles and the trash. And so we were able to get it to go up and down the track, but we couldn't get that arm to work. It was just we just didn't have enough time. And there were several schools that they got up and down the track, but it was a tough competition this year, real tough competition.
Was it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So, and this is the first year you've done this?
This is the first year I've done it. Last year, we had another teacher, Stormy Stevens. He did it.
Okay.
And it was a totally different competition. You don't know what the competition is until the day before you start it. And so last year's competition, I thought it was a little bit easier. But
Do you have middle school and high school together, or are they separate, or?
well, we just tried high school this year.
Okay.
And we may try to do a middle school team. You can do as many teams as you want, I think, but it'd be tough to do more than one team for one teacher, I think.
Right.
But I'd like to get our middle school involved, because usually the younger kids they're a little more excited about those kind of things.
Oh yeah, middle schools, that's a big deal.
Yeah. They don't have to go to work. Most of them don't have to go to their job afterwards. So.
I know, job. What's a job, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think it gives a lot of really good practical applications, like for jobs today,
Yes, ma'am.
that they're
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
learn.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
And one thing I found is that, you know, they're given a problem with zero directions. There's
Right.
no one robot to build, and so you know, when you force kids to think, and adults, even myself, when you force us to think, it's tougher, you know, than you know, if you just have instructions that you have to follow. But you know, just getting simple things like getting a wheel to spin was tough.
yeah, probably even harder for me. Seriously. I'm not mechanically inclined very well.
Well, and you know, that's one thing I like about this competition is that even if you weren't mechanically inclined, there's still things that we needed done.
What what?
Like making an exhibit. We had to come up with an exhibit that would describe our robot, describe the problem. We also had to come up with that engineering notebook was the big portion, and you know, it was about 30% of our overall score.
Wow.
And so you know, you have to be able to write reports. And so, you know, we need kids that can do that too. So there's something for everybody.
That's for the English major person.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I do more of the math. So, well, good. Well, all right. I mean, it sounds like, and you go to competition coming up in Rainsville?
This past competition was in Rainsville.
Was it Rainsville? Okay. And how'd you guys do?
You know, we could have done better.
Yeah, but I mean, was there rankings?
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
we're just going to say they did a good job.
We're going to do better
for the
next
first
year. We're ready for next year. We're going to be ready for next year.
Good job. I mean, you know what? Like I told him earlier, you don't learn what you need to do unless you make the mistakes that teach you what you need to do. And that's in everything in life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I learned a lot.
And being your first year,
yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I'm sure it was a big. I bet you did better than I would have done if somebody would have given me a robot and said I might have been able to run the computer part, but the rest, not.
We're going to do better. I can't wait to next. I think we'll win next.
Well, now you know. You know, I mean, I go to competitions with FBLA, and you know, until you do it that first time, you don't know what it's going to look like, how it's going to lay out,
right? Yeah.
And then you're like, "Ooh, I got this now."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I'll come back next year.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks for coming on.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, we'll be right back.
When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
Hello, this is Sheriff Ronnie Bo Burnett from Marion County Sheriff Department. If you have a drug problem, please seek help. Our hospitals and jails are overcrowded now due to the drug problem in our society. There's people out there that can help. So again, I would encourage you, if you have a drug problem, please seek help. There's many organizations that can help you. Thank you. Have a good day.
The Marion County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Bo Barnett work hard every day to relieve the Valley and Marion County of drugs. You do your part. If you or someone in your family is struggling with drug addiction, get help today. A message from the Marion County Sheriff's Department.
Handyman Salvage at 5121 Highway 136 West, just off of I-59, is where you can find
Masonite planks, just $1 each. T111 4-bay sheets, only $17.99. Bifold doors at a great reduced price. And tape, buy one get one free of equal or lesser value. And buckets 2 for $5.
You'll find it all at Handyman Salvage. Come by and see us. The Raceway in Whitwell is always on your way, taking convenience to a new level, 4 a.m. until midnight, 7 days a week. Go by for gas on the go and meet your friends for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The Raceway has been voted the best place for biscuits and chicken in the Valley. You'll also find subs, pizza, buffalo wings, and more. The Raceway, Highway 28 in Whitwell. It's on your way.
Come see us at Raceway.
Visit the all-new Alabama Fan Club and Museum in Fort Payne, Alabama, located just minutes off I-59. With over 50 years of music and memorabilia to celebrate the amazing career of the Country Music Hall of Fame band, Alabama. And while you're there, check out their fall Alabama merchandise. Call 256-845-1646 for more info. Group rates are available. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and 1 to 5 on Sunday. Admission is $10 for the museum. The Alabama Fan Club and Museum in Fort Payne, Alabama.
All right, welcome back to This Week in Jackson County Schools. I'm Pamela Stone, and we're talking to Section High School, which is pre-K through 12th. So it's an all-school school. It should be Section All School. But anyways, it's not. It's high school. But and we have talked to the ag teacher, the principal. We just spoke to a science teacher who is also the new robotics teacher. And next to me, we have Miss Stacy Wilson. Welcome, Miss Wilson. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good. All right. So you are the media specialist, which, for those who don't know, is the librarian.
The librarian.
The librarian.
Yes. Librarian for pre-K through 12th grade.
Yep, that's a lot of kids that you got coming through the library. A lot of books, because you have to have the elementary kind and the high school kind. Do you have them sectioned off?
Oh yeah, I do. I have them sectioned off for each grade and
that's a lot.
Each reading level and.
Yeah, and then you are also what you call the DLP coach, which is the Dynamic Learning
Project.
Okay, good. And so Jackson County, you did this last year a little bit, and now you guys have several schools. And I've interviewed some other schools, but you know, being that I'm a CTA teacher and a career tech teacher, this is stuff that's really cool to my heart, I think. So, so I'm really excited to interview about it. So tell us what the DLP coach does, what the project is.
It's a partnership with Google.
Okay.
And it's called Dynamic Learning Project, and mostly what Google is trying to do is get impactful technology used in schools. So Google's helping us out by doing some training with some teachers and different people all over the state of Alabama. We started out with one in Jackson County. We had one DLP coach, and from there, our county made a move to do some librarians, to train some librarians, and we kind of moved in the direction of the DLP. So there's 5 of us now, 5 media specialists that also is known as DLP coach. So what we do is go into the teacher classrooms, meet with teachers, talk about what kind of technology they would like to use, and just help them get started with that.
So did you use Google a lot before that? I mean, so just so I can tell people real quick, like, I mean, at least in the schools I've worked at, librarians aren't just about books. You guys also have a computer lab in most of your libraries, or the ability to have like Chromebooks and computers. You help kids do stuff on the computers. So you have to know all about the books. You have to know about technology, and it's all. Is that correct still?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I mean, you've got a lot of multifaceted stuff going on that you have to know. Okay, and so in doing that, just so that they all knew, I mean, you weren't clueless to computers or the technology side.
I was very familiar with Google, but I wasn't really familiar with the G Suite that's kind of up and coming.
What does it include?
The Google Classroom and Google Docs, and I think it's making a push to be in everyday life now.
Really? So tell me, how did you learn?
We went to, Google invited us out to California to their Google campus.
Okay.
So we went there for a week this past summer.
Okay.
And was trained on the DLP.
How was that?
Oh, it was great. The campus is really awesome. It's really unusual the way they treat their employees. Well, maybe not unusual, but it's just different, I guess. They had volleyball nets on the Google campus, so if you just was really bored sitting around in your office.
How can you be bored when you're at work, right? But
you just go out and play some volleyball, and it would help you
think.
Yeah, and bicycles.
I've heard that they ride bicycles through the whole building.
There was bicycles everywhere. You bring your dogs to work. You know, a lot of people had their dogs with them because it just makes, in Google's mind, it makes you more productive.
What, did you just hear barking a lot? See, for that
No.
no?
No. Mm-mm.
No? So what was your favorite thing about the actual Google campus? They have food there, I think.
Yes, all the food is free. You just walk around, and there's a cafe in every little building. It's really
And dress
cool.
code?
The dress code is very casual, very casual.
Like if you want to wear shorts and a t-shirt?
Oh yeah, shorts and a t-shirt.
Whatever you want.
Fine. Anything you want. Yeah, it was just really, really cool.
Okay, good. So what was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part about the campus, I guess, was maybe the bicycles. You know, they just had. I just thought it was cool that you just hop on a bike and ride it anywhere you want to, and then leave it there. They have people hired to come along and pick them up, or somebody just gets on and rides back to somewhere else. So you could see a Google bike anywhere in California. It didn't just have to be on the campus.
Oh, it wasn't just on the campus.
No, it could be anywhere. So that was really
Wow.
cool.
That is pretty cool.
They also pick up their employees. They had charter buses that would pick up employees like an hour out or something like that. So it's the big, nice charter buses with the bathrooms.
So
and
they
the
didn't have to
Wi-Fi.
drive, and it saved on emissions.
Exactly. So they
Well, that's
picked,
good.
They pick their employees up. They let them work all day, and they take them back home.
Cool. All right. So what are you focusing on now for your staff?
For my staff.
Right. Because now you're the teacher that's training the staff.
Right. So each 8 weeks, in 8-week cycles, I go into different classrooms. I pick I'm trying to work with all my staff this year, but since we have several teachers, I'm hoping to get to all of them, but maybe 10 at a time, and go in and talk about what you need. Like, what do you need in the way of technology? How can I help you? How can we find something that helps you with time management? And we look for different ways and different things, different apps, like, say, Google Classroom, getting everybody set up on Google Classroom so that they can put work in for high school students. And it's just all right there. You know, the teacher puts the work in, and the students can see it all. And, I mean, it seems to be working really well.
What do you find that teachers want to know most?
Right now, that's it.
Just
I think,
Google Classroom?
Is the Google Classroom. I think we have a lot of people interested in that because it's a time saver.
Right.
So I think that, and then when I purchased this game called Breakout EDU, I purchased that with some money that I had there at the school, and what it is, it's like the breakout rooms where everybody goes
Right.
and tries to solve the clues, and the game's like that. So you can almost find any subject that you're doing. We can find a game. So I'll go into the teachers' rooms and we'll play that game with the students, and they have to
So are
unlock
they
all the
already
locks.
pre-populated games, or do the teachers put the game in? I mean, like, or
No, there's a website called Breakout EDU that
Okay.
has games up. and
okay, so the
running.
games are already there.
Yeah.
So the teachers don't have to
They don't
actually
have to
create
make
it.
them. Mhm.
Okay.
No, they don't have to, but you can. A lot of people do their own. So, but it's on different subjects, and like pretty much any subject. And the kids have really enjoyed that. We've had a really good time with those games.
Do all of your teachers have like a lab or a Chromebook, or I mean, I don't know. How does the technology work at your school?
Yes, we have 3 computer labs actually. So teachers, they're open to be used anytime.
Okay.
A lot of teachers do have Chromebooks or laptops, and most teachers have computers in their classroom, at least a few, 5 or more.
Okay, so that makes it easier for the. I mean,
Yes.
if you can get a hold of the technology, that makes it easier to actually use it.
Yes.
So, what is your feedback from your teachers? Do they like this, or is it? Are they still
yes.
in learning mode?
Yeah, we all are, me included. It's taken some getting used to, just being different. And there's some things different in the library this year because I'm out doing the Google stuff more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think as a whole, it's been really good, and we're really enjoying it.
Well, good. Well, that sounds interesting. One day I hope that I get the opportunity to do that. That would be
I hope
fun.
so too. Yeah,
So,
it's good.
well, thanks for coming on. I wish you the best of luck in your new role this year.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll be back next week. We'll see you then.